Hey everyone! In this video, I'll demonstrate an auto rig for simple elements that works in literally just a few clicks. I wrote it for my own needs. It's used to quickly rig various elements that populate the scene. So mostly props. All right, I'm launching the auto, and it looks pretty concise, meaning this is the entire interface. It works quite simply. You just pick an element, choose your settings, and then actually click Create. These are the default settings. I haven't changed anything yet, and here's what it looks like. So it's a standard squash and stretch. We can move all sorts of elements. Everything is skinned right away. And here we can adjust the squash and stretch. Squash in the positive direction also works in the negative. In the negative direction, it expands, so it works in reverse. There are situations when this is needed, but by default, it's set to 1. There is also an offset, meaning we can shift it for this kind of cartoony effect. Let's say we just worked on a vertical rig, but what if our rig were horizontal instead? It also works simply. We just select the axis. We look at what axis we have, how the object is positioned, and choose the correct axis. Right now, our x-axis is longitudinal, and we click. Bam, and it's all done. Everything stretches, everything works, meaning it twists, it moves, and so forth. Let's assume we need a rig more complex, so a rig based on bones, on 3 bones. And suppose we need a spline IK rig. We change the axes because we have this thing positioned horizontally. Here we click Create Rig, and we can specify the bone count. In this case, it's 7. Let's say we make it 5. For this topology, that will be enough. We click Create Auto, and here it is created. Also, we have an element, for example, so that it's the central element. Our central control basically belongs to the lower part, and we get this interesting effect right here. Here, the twist setup kicks in right away, and we can also increase the stretch a bit. And this is what we get. Let's say we have a situation where the object is hanging, or the pivot point just isn't at the center of the object. We can handle this in 2 ways. We select the vertices. Let's assume we selected the vertices. Here, I'll turn off this mode right now. I need it. And we hit Create. But there's a catch. We need to position the y-axis in the opposite direction so that our pivot point is located at the mount. I'm undoing it. The script does things well. I'll select the vertices again. The script, as I mentioned, can be undone with Control-Z, all its actions, and you can just undo and quickly create the rig again. -X, meaning if some of our values didn't match, we undid it, slapped it back on, and that's it. We create it, and now our pivot is located right in this spot. There is another way, by the way. The rig can also be deleted just by selecting the group and deleting that group, then recreating the rig. Let's say we also have this option available. So we have, say, the y-axis, and we hold down, we add this checkbox, Create Pivot Offset. And we click Create, and we get an additional element. Here it is. And now, if we move this element over here, then our pivot will end up being shifted. We can move this pivot anywhere in the scene space, and it will give us the exact position where it will happen, well, where this object's pivot is located. The next thing is a bit more complex, IK. Here we select the vertices, let's say. I'll show you now. So we've selected the vertices, and we want to assign only them right here. I'll also check this box again, and let's say I'll set it to 7 just to be clear. And here I click Create. squash. And so we sort of like achieved that squash effect on this specific element on the axe. But we also need to rig this thing, for example. In that case, we can go this route. So we've completed one part of the rig, but we don't want the newly created element of this thing to affect the already existing skin on this very element. Then we check this box. I'll remove this and make it simple. We select the axis, say -x, and I also click Create Placement Guides. This is already a different element. So we can actually set the positions of our controls, like where they're going to be. Let's say here, I'll spread them apart a little bit, like this. And next, I click Build from Guides. And now we have this element, meaning this upper part, is already set up. Now, all we have left is to nest this thing right into that. And so now we get this kind of simple rig. It totally does the job. So in general, that is the entire tool set for this rig, the auto rig. But you see how many elements you can create here fairly quickly in literally just a few clicks. Thanks for your attention. Subscribe to my Telegram. I post all sorts of useful stuff there on Maya, Unreal, and other similar things. Bye, everyone.